Alright, we need some tacticals, we need some engineer, so we can get these threats taken care of. Well, we got both. So our engineer can take care of the comms. They're fixed. Our commanders can communicate with our crew again. We could fire the weapon off. So I will load an engineer and a scientist, fire that weapon. Well, I don't load them into there. It's not like I'm firing people at them, but they're using the weapons, which makes them effective as far as doing 2 damage, takes care of the warbird, and discard the top card of the threat deck. So we got rid of, oh no, we got rid of our rescue card. That was bad timing. That was really bad timing on our part. And we have an engineer that's not going to do anything right now. But our boost morale is up. That's not bad. Rolling a 6 right now would be really nice because we could get that right off of the board. But we did not. Alright guys. Let's keep it going. No, we're going to get another threat come out here. And it's the shield platform. It protects external threats. This is a good time to get that because there is nothing out here for it to protect. And we are going to take care of it right away because I will, let's load up another engineer. This one will do 3 damage to a single threat. Get that shield out of here. And then discard the top card, which was the orbital cannon. Cannot be damaged unless it is the only threat. Well, this time it would have been. Well, no, it wouldn't have been. Because, well, those don't count, I don't think. Because it's a positive. I don't think that would have counted as a threat, even though it has the square for internal threat. Now we'll draw our threat, and we get a fighter. Good. They only do 1 hull damage on a 2 and a 4. Oh, it got us. Little fighter swooped in and hit us for a little bit of damage there. Got some commanders. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to fire our weapon unless we change something. Got a little bit of damage to the shields. And I think there's no need to repair that one little bit of damage right now. So we will send someone to the infirmary. Change him into a tactical. Use a commander to do 1 damage to every threat. Get that fighter out of here. Get our crew member out of the infirmary, and we'll randomly go with 3. We'll override 3. And we have a panel explosion. I cannot assign engineers until medical takes care of those wounded crew members from that panel explosion. We're working our way through this threat deck efficiently. We're over halfway there. And we could repair those shields now if we wanted to. I can't assign any engineers though. Or, yeah right, any engineers. We can't recharge these shields though, so that's okay. No hull needs repaired. I'll block 5 and 6 with the override. And we get our telepath rescue. And the solar winds show up. We roll a 2, We lose 5 hull. Now would be the time, because we're fully charged and there's not any other external threats. So let's roll that 2 right now. Nope, no luck there. Let's see what we got. Well, we got more threats now. And they're cloaked threats. It's internal. So if we roll that 2, we'll have to roll the threat phase again. We don't have anybody in the infirmary. The solar winds, I could take care of that panel explosion right now, and I'm going to do that. I don't want that there, because I might need engineers in the near future. But I can have a medical personnel use the weapon, and that allows me to complete an internal threat. And I'll take care of the cloaked threats. We do have those solar winds out there though. Oh, the pirates are back. This time they activate on a 3 and a 6. Let me get my crew out of the weapon. And we got a 1, which means nobody activates, internal or external. Okay, let's keep going. All right. Do we have something to take out these pirates? We do. And that's about it. So our scientist will use the weapon to do 2 damage. Space pirates are taken care of, and you can't damage the solar winds. They don't have any health. I just put it down here on 1 because it was open. We don't have any problems with our shields. I could use my telepath though. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll use the telepath and we'll look at the top 5 cards of the threat deck. And it doesn't say to put them back in the same order, but I will, because I think that's the way they should be. So next up we have a fighter, the mercenary, friendly fire, and a couple of strike bombers coming back to back. Let me look at the rules real quick, make sure I can't reorder those. I did not see any specific mention of it in the rule book, but on one of the other ships there's an ability that allows you to look at the top 1 or 2 cards, I can't remember, of the threat deck, but it specifically says on there to put them back in the same order. So since the rule book doesn't address it, but that board for that ship does, I'm going to assume that they would want you to put them back in the same order. And we have a commander. And I do actually want the solar wind to activate now while it's a good time. So I will block 6 with the override. And we got our fighter, and I completely forgot what was coming next, and I blocked the wrong number. I should have blocked the 4. And we got the 6. Totally blocked that 6. Really good job. But our morale boost, uh-oh, does that not take effect since I blocked that 6? Yes, I managed to block my own boost morale because the threat die is ignored. So it's like it doesn't even exist. So I need to pay more attention to what I'm doing. But it could be a lot worse. Did I draw a new threat? I did. I did draw the fighter. Alright. Oh no, we got some threats coming at us this time. Now they're getting... And we got our mercenary, who if no threats are activated is going to do 2 hull damage. And we're halfway to another threat. We've got a couple commanders, and we have a medical. Whew. I don't want to block anything because if the fighter activates, I'll take 1 hull damage. But if the fighter doesn't activate, then I will take 2 hull damage. But the 2 could do 6 damage because the solar wind and the fighter both activate. And I don't know what's coming next because I can't remember the order. I think it's friendly fire, if I remember right. I think that was the 3rd one in. I don't think there's anything I want to do then. No more. And I'm right, it is friendly fire. Immediately send all tactical to the infirmary, then discard. That's the time to do it because I have no dice showing the tactical symbol. And the 4, so the fighter will do 1, which means the mercenary will not activate. The solar winds are still there, hanging out, getting ready to tear us up when they do hit. Alright, so engineers, medical, and a commander. We need something to fire these weapons off, darn it. Nothing's coming up. Let's swap this. That way I can use that to repair my hull. And the commander, again, I don't want to block anything. And I don't have enough dice to flip something and change it to do anything. No. Overriding I don't want to do. I have no one in the infirmary. Okay. Let's get our threat. And it's the strike bomber. And I do remember that those were back to back. So there'll be another strike bomber coming after that. And now the 2 will really hurt me. Ouch. But I rolled a 5. Which means nothing activated. So the mercenary hits us for 2. And we have another threat. Our second strike bomber comes out. We don't have anything to fire off the weapons. Now we're getting in trouble. Now things are getting really out of hand. Because a 2 would do 1, 5, 6, 7. Wow. We can recharge our shields, which is a must. And do we want to block anything at all? Well, 4 would do 1, 2, 3. So if the 4 got skipped because I override it, then I would take 2 from the mercenary. If the 2 hits, I'm going to take 7. So it's either 3 or 7 or 2. There's a lot. I'm not sure what I want to do. I think I will just... I don't want to block the 2 because I want these solar winds. Or maybe I just start blocking it now so nothing... Yeah. Well, I'll just block it till for now. And we got the robot uprising. 1, 2s, and 3s. We send a unit to the infirmary. And it's a 2, and that's what I blocked. That would have been 7 damage, and someone would have went to the infirmary. I don't think now is the time to take that, so that was... I'm happy with that decision. That wasn't too bad after all. Now we have a weapon. We have the ability to fire our weapon. We have to see what course we want to take here. We can get rid of an internal threat. We can do 1 damage to each. I could wipe out those strike bombers and fighters. Yeah, I think I should get rid of as many threats as possible. So we'll use the commanders, have them fire the weapon, and do 1 damage to all threats twice. So that will take the fighter out. These all move down 1. And then the second time, those strike bombers are taken care of. And now we're in a much better spot, except we'll still take 2 damage if we do not activate the solar winds this time. And that's all I can do. We're almost there. The boarding ship shows up. It's our last ditch effort to try and take care of me. So we have to send a unit to the infirmary thanks to the robot uprising, and the solar winds will activate with that 2 and do 5, which will wipe out our shields, but we still have our hull. And the mercenary will not activate because a couple of threats were activated this time. But we're down to 4 crew. Got some commanders, and we can get let's definitely get our crew out of the infirmary. And if the 3 and 4 hit, I'll do 2. If nothing hits, I'll take 2. Let's get those shields recharged. So I'm not too worried about that. Do I want to override anything? Actually, let's override the 3 and the 4. Because I'm going to take 2 if nothing activates, but I don't know what's coming next. Wait. The robot uprising. I'm going to change that up. I'm going to take care of the 2 and the 3. That way this may still activate on a 4, and that may still activate on a 1. Yeah, let's go with that. Nothing happens. That's what's coming next. Nothing. And we got a 1. So this crew member is back in the infirmary. We're almost through this threat deck. Lots of engineers. And a commander. That's not going to help us very much. Yes, it will. What am I thinking? Robot uprising. Engineer took care of that problem. But we do have these ships out here that we need to deal with. And I don't know if I want to send somebody else to the infirmary just to take care of that mercenary. No. No, I'm not going to do that. So I will block... Let's block the 4 for that boarding ship. And, oh no, I forgot about that guy. The meteoroid's here. It's going to do 5 when it hits. The 5 is rolled, which activates nothing. Still have a guy in the infirmary, or a crew member. And we can fire our weapon this time. But it's not a really effective firing of the weapon. So I'll fire it, which will allow me to discard the top card of the threat deck, the destroyer. So our threat deck is now empty. Weapons fired. We'll get our unit out of the infirmary. And that's it. There's no more threats in the threat deck to draw. We have to deal with these threats over here. We can clear these threats out of here, and the threat deck is now empty. We will win the game. That's a 6. None of those are activated. So now we gotta take care. We need to fire this weapon off. And I think that's going to cause 1 damage to me, if I remember right. Let me check the rule book real quick. Yeah, if there are no more cards, instead lose a hull. Alright. It says to lose a hull point, but it doesn't specify whether or not the shields are going to work or not. So I'm just going to play that they do. What can we do here? We can do damage, 3 damage to a single threat. Or we can do 4 and I can just get rid of that boarding ship completely. Oh, I see what I'm going to do. Never mind. So that will be 4 damage, which can be spread out because they're both from science. So 1 to the mercenary, 3 to the meteoroid, and we'll use our tactical to take care of the boarding ship. And now we're down to just the meteoroid. So if we roll a 1, we'll take 5 damage and we will win the game. Or we'll have to go to another round and try and blast this thing. And we didn't roll the 1. And I know I rolled a 6 last time. I forgot to take care of the boost morale, but that's okay. So it would not be there anymore. And that is not going to take care of it. Well, maybe. I can move some things around here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll send 1 to the infirmary to make a tactical. Fire off and do 2 damage. That's enough to hit the meteoroid, shatter it. Our ship's going to get hit a whole bunch for 5 damage, but that is enough. External threats are clear, threat deck is gone, and we have at least 1 hull point. So we were successful in navigating the Mononoaware through space, defeating all the threats, and successfully winning this game of Deep Space D-6. Now for my final thoughts. Let's start out with the components. First, I like this magnetic box. Let me get these out of there so they don't rattle around. Let me take the other boards out too, because I want to show you the box, because I really like that this looks like the old Choose Your Own Adventure books that I grew up reading over and over again as a kid. I just love the design and the style of the box. And I like that it's Tau Leader Games #1, so maybe there's going to be more games, maybe more solitaire games he has planned in the series. I hope so, but the box, I absolutely love the box. That is awesome. And so we're going over components then, since we talked about the box. The player boards are really good. When they first come, they're a little stiff, so you have to actually overbend them a little bit to get them to sit flat, but that's not a big deal because I'm not seeing a ton of stress lines in there and the color's not flaking off, so they're working out well. I don't know if that's going to be an issue long into the future or not, but for now, no problem. And they're nice, sturdy board too. And it's nice that they have the instructions or some background on each ship on the back and some of the gameplay notes that are specific for that ship. The dice are etched. They're not printed on. So they're going to hold up for a long time. You're not going to get them to, it's not going to wear off. The cards, very simple design. I don't have a problem with that. I think it works well. Nice, clean, simple design for the theme. Sometimes going simple with the art and the design is just as effective as having a lot of embellishments, but it works for me. The cards, they're sturdy cards, so they're not going to wear out on you. And having them be all white, especially for me who doesn't sleeve his cards, those little nicks that'll appear around the edges when you're using cards a lot, that's not going to be a problem now because they're white. I don't have a color that's going to flake off. So I actually like that. And that's really it. I mean, there's not a lot of components. It's a really simple game. There's not a lot of moving parts to it. It's really easy to pick up. While we're talking about that, let's go to the rule book. The rule book is simple, although there are some revisions and some things that have changed that are needed, and I believe that has been addressed on the Kickstarter that's currently up, that is running until June 20th for the next printing of this game, with the expansion available also, and the changes to the rulebook and maybe some of the cards. I know that the final encounter, the Ouroboros, which is extremely difficult in this edition, has been tweaked to make it more of a balanced encounter, which would mean you'd be more likely to use it. I left it off of this one, but maybe I'll be more apt to use it at the end of my games or during my games if it's a more balanced encounter. I've never got close to taking it out. It has just wiped me out every time, so I'm happy to hear that he's updating the Ouroboros encounter at the end, along with the expansion that's coming and the revisions to the rules. I mean, the rulebook is small. There's not a lot of reading that you have to do. 10 pages, 12 pages maybe. In the back it's just notes, so maybe just 10 pages or less. It's laid out just fine. It's easy to follow. Breaks down what the boards mean, what the cards mean, how the threats work. Different things for each ship. Like we're playing the Mononoaware, and it tells you how override, equilibrium, and then that the damage from the science attack may be split like I was doing there. Then it gives you a run through of the play sequence and how to win, and any requirements or questions you may have about the special threat cards. And then on the back you got a quick rule reference. And that's nice to keep off to the side, just to remind you of the sequence, because it's easy to miss things, and as I go through and edit this I may have missed a few things, so because I was moving along pretty quick there. So the components, they work great. I like them. Simple, clean design. The rule book, despite needing a couple of just revisions or tweaks, effective. Theme, I mean, I'm sold by the box alone. I would buy this game even if I found out later I didn't like it. I probably wouldn't trade it or get rid of it because I just love the way it looks. I'd have this sitting on my shelf because it reminds me of those books I would love to read as a kid. So that alone is going to keep it on my shelf no matter if I ever get tired of the play or not. But it's a nice, quick game. And on here it says 30 minutes. And that's pretty accurate. If you're not talking like me and explaining things like I am on this video, you can get through one of these in 30 minutes easily. Maybe a little less if you're really good with the rules and know the way that the ship that you're using plays. So the theme, the space, the nice clean design, it works for me. I like it. I know that I've seen comments on my first video that I did for this game that the game may not be for them, and that's fine. If my video convinces you that, hey, I really want to buy this game, great. If it convinces you like, hey, that's not the game for me and I don't want to buy it, that's great too, because you didn't spend money on something you didn't like, so my goal is accomplished either way. I'm hoping you like the game because I like to support the developers, especially the smaller ones, and hopefully people like the game and buy it. But don't forget, again, the Kickstarter is up and available right now through June 20th. If you don't have a copy, or you want to get the expansion, or you want to get a revised copy, even if you already have one like me, I went ahead and pledged to get another full copy plus the expansion. And then I also got a copy of the expansion cards to put into this box. So I'll have 2 complete sets. Why? I don't know. Why not? I wanted to support the small developer, small game maker, because I myself have ideas that I want to turn into games, and I know it's not easy. It's really hard from what I've tried. So anybody that does that and gets it out there, I want to support them as much as I can. Those are my thoughts on Deep Space D6 from Talater Games. Hope you enjoyed the playthrough, and don't forget to check out the Kickstarter running now through June 20th. Thank you for watching. Please take a moment to click on these links and consider supporting the channel through Patreon. If you'd like to make a one-time donation, the link to my GoFundMe page for equipment upgrades is in the video description below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and check out the other videos on the channel. Your support is appreciated, and I'll see you in my next video.